Hey guys, this is Scaling from Fast Fire News here with our Drains Domain Season 1, Episode 12, One Step Further review. Now, let's begin. This week we got one big thing happening, and I think that was about it. We got a lot of things connecting to this, that connected to this. A lot of individual stuff that wound up all kind of connecting together to make this one thing that happened in this episode. So, anyways, starting off, I want to say that, so far, Drains Domain is still headed in a good direction. The season kind of started to slow down in its second half, I noticed. Ever since the Sun Dragon thing started seeming, and I don't mean the Sun Dragon as in when Sunstone, as in him, I mean the episode. Just in case anybody's confused by that. Ever since that episode, it seems like things have started to slow down a little bit for the show. And, for example, if you go back, we got some pretty big battle episodes, like the war with Deathkiss and Starstone, and then the first episode where everything began, and things like the Night of Nightmares, and we were getting a lot of big things in every episode. It's like every episode was its own different thing, and when the Sun Dragon happened, it seemed like things started to kind of take a turn for the slower. Things have had to slow down. Now, with last week's episode, I felt things had stepped up, started to move forward faster, and luckily, this episode kind of continued that. It wasn't quite at the same pace that it was before. It still wasn't a huge step forward in the storyline, but it was nonetheless a step forward by the end. And everything kind of coincided with it when you realized what was going to happen in the end. Everything that happened in the episode served a better purpose once you got the full context of the episode. Now, more on that in a moment. Okay, so first of all, the performances were really great again this week. I'm going to start off by saying that the cast has been really good. Starstone, still really good. He has improved. I think he's going to stay that way, and I'm happy about that. I'm really happy about that. I think he's going... I like his character. I'm really wondering where they're going to do with Starstone after, but I probably should get to that later. Well, anyways, the cast was really good this week. Everybody stepped up their game once again, and the performances were strong. So the cast did a really good job this week. Now, that said, we got some really good moments between the characters. The opening with Starstone and Sunstone was, I think, the kind of moments we needed with... I believe I even mentioned this in my last review. The kind of moments I said that I was hoping we would get to see, so that we could kind of get more of an idea of the relationship between Starstone and Sunstone, because we've kind of seen how he is with Moon Eye, but Moon Eye... Oh, come on, hopefully I'm not going to start saying this. Moonstone. Man. I cannot get my names right. Moonstone. We've seen how Starstone is with Moonstone, and we've gotten an idea of how they kind of interact with each other, but we haven't got a lot of that with Sunstone and Starstone. Really, they haven't really interacted hardly at all that we've seen on the show. I'm guessing that they have been, but you haven't really seen it. So that was nice to get to see him training with Sunstone this week. The opening, I think, served a good purpose in showing us that and helping flesh out Sunstone even more. We got to see his personality a little bit more, and then we got to see his interaction with Starstone, basically how their dynamic works and how their relationship is. And I think they're doing a good job of building Sunstone and Moonstone. As I said last week, I still think that they're doing a good job with that. I think that they're stepping it up. Right now, if Moonstone turns evil in the next episode, which he could, but we're gonna have to see. If he turns evil in the next episode, I can deal with that. We probably could have used a little more build up, but they've done a good job with what they've done so far. When Singe Valian went back and made the edits to the episodes, I feel like he did his best to try to make things work after he realized his mistakes. So I'm gonna give him credit for that right now. I think that the Moonstone and the Sunstone setup has been really good so far. I think he's been developing that a lot better. So, yes, the opening was good. It served a really good purpose, and it was nice to see the characters interact, which is something we don't really get to see often. Now, moving on. I'm trying to figure out if there was anything else that happened before the attack. I don't really think there was. Alright, well, in that case. Okay, yes, I remember. Okay, so we got, basically, this week, apart from just going by character moments still, we got a pretty good moment with, this moment with Skrull, and Skrull was pretty good. I mean, it was nice to get to see them also, the father and son relationship kind of shine through them, because we haven't got a lot of that lately either. I mean, I know Skrull has been kind of significantly cut down somewhat in recent episodes, and it was nice to get to see that again, to get more of that in, and just getting to see Skrull kind of be a father too, and not just basically part of the Lunar Sky Defenses. So, yeah, we got some good character moments this week. I mean, I could probably sit here and point out several if I thought about it, but I'm just going to sum it up by saying that the Skrull and Skrull moment, the Starstone and Sunstone moment, all those kind of moments we got were really good, and I like that they take the time to do this. I mean, they could easily just follow by the main story and kind of just ignore stuff. For example, like the Skrull and the Skrull thing didn't have to happen for them to go get Skrull, but they included it anyway, and I like that they do that. I like that Singe Villian is a talented story writer. Basically, he's talented at creating a good story. He may have almost messed up, but he went back and he corrected it. And so far, Dragon's Domain is still its highest quality. Is still its story. So, moving on. Well, apart from that, we got to revisit Woodsvale this week, which was nice getting to see that place again. We didn't get to see it a lot before the attack happened. I kind of wish we had got to kind of maybe see a little bit more of it before that, but I mean, the attack was a while, and they needed some time for that, so it's no big deal. I still say I like Blades and Dagger, and which I got mixed up last time. I'm going to point this out. I said Blaze, it's Blades, as in Blades, and Dagger. So, it was nice getting to see their characters again. I hope that this won't be the last time, because this seemed kind of like the last episode and this one were kind of like a two-parter kind of thing, and I hope we get to see them again, because I like both characters. I like them both. Now, I can't say the one thing I totally didn't understand. I'm not going to list this as a negative because it's pretty nitpicky, but I didn't fully understand why. I mean, I'm not really sure why Dagger didn't take the blade with, staff, not blade. The staff with him when he went to go get Starstone, because his father told him to guard it, and he ran off to go get them and left it by itself. So, I'm not really sure why he didn't take it with him. Granted, maybe Giants would have tried to attack him, but he could have basically maybe used it on them if he really felt he had to, or something like that. I don't know. I didn't fully really grasp why they didn't really address why he kind of basically just didn't, kind of ignored it when his dad told him to guard it. But anyways, it was one, I liked that we're getting to see Zatring. I think he's one of my top favorite of the villain dragons in the show so far. He was the one who kind of started the conflict, honestly. So, it was cool getting to see him in these past two episodes in the show. I think, as I said, he's one of my more favorite of them, and it was cool getting to see him again. So, the battle this week brought some good character moments, and when the battle actually happened, we got some really good fights. Dragon's Domain has been a good had been a good show with good fights in it. It's had some good action scenes, but it's never really been on like Dragon Dow or Turbo T-Rex fight quality. Really, to me, it's more of a like fire and stuff like and powers and stuff, and it's not really a highly choreographed battles most of the time. Not like compared to other shows, but I think lately they kind of stepped up the action, the battles, especially, and this one had some really good fight scenes in it. We got a lot of cool battles in it, like with Moonstone and Zaytring and Blades and Zaytring. I don't know if Squirrel battled not Windborn. No, of course he battled Windborn. I don't know if Squirrel battled Zaytring. I can't remember. I wish I could remember that, because I would have liked to see that if they didn't do it. If they did, then I should have been paying more attention. But, because, well, Zaytring was kind of going through guys, so it's like it was kind of hard to keep track of who he was battling at what time. But, anyways, yeah, so we got a lot of good action this week that I felt stepped up the quality of the action. I felt Sin Valiant and the people who choreographed the fight did a really good job with making these battles more intense than usual and basically have more cool moves that we don't always get. So yeah, we got some really cool action. I like that Sunstone's kind of stepped up to the plate and got involved. He hasn't been really a fighter, as Starstone pointed out in this episode, so it was kind of cool basically that they kind of foreshadowed him getting involved in the fight by him telling Starstone that he could fight. And I felt Sunstone, the last episode was basically Sunstone kind of showing his personality and talking with with Blades and Dagger, meeting them and going to Woodsville. But Moonstone was like the one it was focused on. I felt like this episode was kind of more of Sunstone's. It's like this was a two-parter, and this was Sunstone's side, and the first episode was Moonstone's side. So, yeah. I really like what they've been doing with that so far. I keep pointing that out, but I feel like the development they're giving those two has been really good. They've been doing a good job of taking both those characters and trying to build them up for the climax. And I'm happy about that. I think it's great. So, yeah, we got some great action. Some awesome action this week. Really awesome action. The one thing I can say, I kind of hope they do differently at some point. This isn't really a negative, but at some point, I kind of hope they find a better way to end some of the battles than just making the dominants give up, because that's been the past two times what has occurred. They retreated the first time, and then they retreated the second time, and it's just like, you're thinking, like, why? I mean, granted, they're outmatched, but if they were really determined, I wouldn't think they'd keep giving up. So, I kind of hope they figure out a way to handle that better at some point. Either they get this, like, for example, I think maybe they could have taken the staff and, like somebody could have ran off with it or something, or, like, somebody could have hit it, or found some way to guard it or something, or do something, basically, or they could have, done something like... Wow, for some reason I just completely lost my train of thought. They could have done something like, okay, no, basically, either they could have guarded it or warded it, or somebody could have taken it, or something could have happened like that, or if the dominants were going to get it, basically they could actually get the staff. I don't think that will work with the story, so I'm not really going by that too much, but, I mean, basically, I kind of hope we see something else besides just them giving up at some point. Because then it's just like, why did you really go through that whole battle just to give up in the end? So, I mean, we have like this big battle, and then it just ends with, and not the most exciting way, with them saying basically that they're just retreating and leaving. So I can hope they find a different way to do that at some point if they do more battles like this. Because I don't think it's the best way to end every single battle. And I'd like to see the dominants kind of be a little more, I guess, determined, since they're supposed to be like this big threat. But anyways, moving on, this was more to me about not just the battle itself. Like, at first I thought this was mostly just going to be a battle, and I was thinking they weren't going to get the staff, so I was kind of like, what is this episode really going to serve? How is this going to serve a purpose, really? I was thinking, I'm not sure how this is going to serve a purpose compared to the rest of what's going on, because it's not really got any effect on the story if they don't get the staff. I mean, I can kind of say I'm not entirely sure what the purpose of bringing the staff in and stuff is right now. If they didn't get it, I'm wondering if Moonstone's going to get it somehow when he becomes bad. But I'm not sure what the purpose was of bringing that in if they weren't going to do anything with it. I guess we'll find out kind of if that's going to head anymore later on. But anyways, yeah, so to me this was more about kind of again, just like last week, this was more about getting into Sunstone's character to meet and building him up than necessarily just being about a big battle. But that said, we still got a lot of good action, really cool action this week, and so it definitely served that purpose too. Now, forgive me if I'm missing anything. I don't want to like just keep talking about things just keep like going on about small details and stuff. So I kind of trying to make this like where I kind of just talk about the majority of it. So I'm gonna kind of move on from the battle, which as I said, was really great, really awesome, served a lot of purpose, helped build up Sunstone, and helping build up Sunstone, and it made for a really great climax. We got to see Zatron come back. We got some really cool fights. Choreography was a lot better than usual, or has been a lot better than before. And I'm curious where the staff's going to plan later. I'm sure they have some reason for bringing it out other than just to make this Dominance not get it. So, anyways, yeah, and it was nice to see the Woodvale characters again. I hope we do get to see them again later, because I like both those characters. Now, moving on from basically that, which was mostly of what was the biggest thing of what we got of this episode, we got a little bit at the end of Starstone basically telling the Sunstone he's gonna be the next king. I can say that I'm really curious to see where this is gonna go. As in, not with Moonstone and stuff. I know where that's gonna go, kind of, but with Starstone, because I know Starstone's gonna come back in further seasons. At least I'm certain of it. I'm pretty sure, because there was a comic for the second season that had him in it, so I'm thinking surely he's gonna play a part in it somehow. And in that case, if he is, then I don't know how he's gonna really what service he's gonna serve if he's not the King of Lunar Sky anymore. So I guess we'll see. Another thing I'm thinking is that now that I'm thinking about that comic, I mean, I probably shouldn't go on this yet, because, I mean, we're not even at it yet, but I thought that was Skrull in the comic, and this was like an alternate world, like somehow there was like an alternate world or something, and how does that work, because Skrull is in this world? I'll have to see if I can get like some answers about that, but anyways, moving on from that, yeah, I'm curious to see where Starstone's going to go after this, because if he is the king, if he's not the king anymore, then I wonder how they're going to deal with this. That brings me to another thing I have that I'm not sure what I feel, I'm not overly thrilled with. I'm starting to get the idea that Moonstone may have only been created in the show as a villain, which is fine, but I'm thinking, I'm not sure why Glorystone sent Sunstone and Moonstone. Surely he couldn't have just sent Moonstone as a test. His whole purpose can't just be a test. So there's got to be something more to Moonstone. I really hope that they're not going to overlook that and like just let that slide. There's got to be more. Sunstone, yes, he could have been sending Sunstone to be the next ruler, but why Moonstone? Surely it just wasn't just to test Starstone or Sunstone or something like that. Surely there was more to him than that. So we'll just have to see where that goes. I'm not crazy about that. If that winds up being the case, I don't think that was the best. I don't think that they did the best job with that. I think that they should have made more to it than that. But that's not really pertaining to this episode so much. So carrying on, there's not really a whole lot to say about at that moment in particular. It was interesting getting to see him say that. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out in the next episode. I know where it's kind of going basically, but I don't know how it's going to play out. So I am interested in seeing where it goes in the next episode. As for the acting, I think Starstone did a really good job at this part. I think Sunstone maybe could have been a wee bit better, because I think that, I wasn't getting, it would have been kind of, nice to see Starstone telling him this, and Sunstone starting to kind of get the idea, and either acting kind of excited, not necessarily, in a way, oh, I really want to do this, but, basically kind of being, kind of marveling at the idea, I guess, or something you could say. I thought he maybe kind of acted a little bit unenthusiastic at this part, which maybe he is unenthusiastic, but for trying to end this on a dramatic note, I think that maybe they could have made him seem like surprised or something like that, and I didn't really get that so much, so I think maybe Sunstone could have been a little better at that part. But nonetheless, he was good, really good in the rest of the episode, and I am really interested in seeing where this whole Sunstone being the next ruler plays out. I mean, I have to side with Moonstone somewhat, because it is a little unfair. I mean, Moonstone was the first one they started training to do all this stuff, and it's Sunstone who gets to be the ruler, but, you know, it actually makes sense because Moonstone's more of a fighter, so Moonstone maybe was more destined for being a warrior, and Sunstone was more destined for being a ruler, because he does seem like he would make a good ruler. Out of the two of them, I would say I would trust Sunstone to be the better of the rulers, because he's more humble, and he just seems more like Starstone, so, and Moonstone seems more like a fighter and a warrior, so it is a kind of natural choice. I mean, they've done also another good job with that of showing why he would choose Sunstone in particular. That's another thing I feel was well done, because you can see why he would choose him rather than Moonstone, and it's not just like I got these two dragons, this one gets to be the ruler. Sorry, you're just out, buddy. It was like you really can understand why he chose Sunstone if he had to make a choice. So overall, yes, this was a good episode. Helped build up Sunstone even more. Some good character moments, lots of great, fantastic action that I really enjoyed. Got to see the Woodsville characters again, and things are still moving in a good direction. So, as for my score, I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8.4 just like last week for great, because I think this was about pretty much on the same quality as last week. Like, not a huge step up in story, but, I mean, kind of for the ruler thing, kind of, but that was like at the very end. And overall, I think I really feel like I like them both the same. So, yeah. 8.4 for this. Now, you guys can let me know what you thought, what you think of this review, what you thought of the episode. I'm going to keep watching the series, see what happens. We're going to see what happens this week when Dragon's Domain episode 13 comes on, the episode before the penultimate episode, the last three. And yeah, so right now the series is heading in a good direction. I'm really interested in seeing the story, as I usually say when I end this review. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you keep checking back with us and watching our reviews, and if you're keeping up with Dragon's Domain or any of the other series. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This is Scaling from Fast Fire News, and I'm out.